Hi, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the very versatile little scallop in my new Twine Time set. And this can be used in so many ways on your card projects and all of your stamp crafts that you do. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can use this scallop to create borders, but also more importantly, how you can use this with the different dies in your collection to actually create scallop borders around them. We're going to do an oval card, and then I will also show you how you can apply this trick to different shaped dies. It'll basically work with any die. The products that you're going to need for this particular project are the Twine Time set, and I'm also going to be using the flower and a word from my fabulous frame set. You're going to need some different acrylic blocks. I like to have a smaller block for that small scallop. It's just a little bit easier to stamp that way instead of a large one, and then one for the flower. Cardstock, I'm just using some of the Gina K Pure Luxury Base Weight White. I've got a couple ink pads here to stamp out the flower and the twine. I'm going to do these in the Jelly Bean Green and the Black Onyx. I've got some scissors and a button just for doing a little embellishment with that double bow image. I've got some little adhesive foam squares, and then my two dies. So these are just some Spellbinders dies here, but they will work with any dies that you have that are open. This is a Gina K Scalloped one. So we'll start with the oval. What I'm going to do, you're also going to need a pencil. Here is my cardstock, and I've already got it folded so that I can cut it into, or rather fold it into an A2 size card. I'm going to lay my die face up, and I'm going to put it just right there, maybe a little bit above center on the card, just so that I have some room for the border at the bottom. So I'm going to trace the inside of the die, and what this is going to do, it's going to give me a guideline that you won't see, so you don't have to erase this, because your actual die cut piece is bigger than the inside of this. Here is where the cut line is. So this is just giving you a little guide on the inside, and this is going to be the outline that you're going to stamp those scallops up against. Okay, so let's go ahead and start stamping the scallops out. And I just chose to do the Jelly Bean Green on this one because I thought it was nice with the leaves. So I like to think of this as kind of a rule of symmetry or a rule of opposites. So with any die shape, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the middle. So I stamp it right on the edge. And remember, this lip is going to go over that edge. So if it's not exactly on the edge, that's okay, but you want to have as close as possible, and it keeps it all lined up. And then I'm going to go across, and I'm going to do one on the top. Okay? Now I'm going to do a quarter turn here, and I want to find the middle. And again, you'll see that I'm not measuring anything. And you can either turn it or you can turn the stamp so that you're putting a scallop on the opposite side. And this is the same thing that I did with showing how to create the doily with my butterfly image. So that's another one that you can look up. So now we want to go to the middle and make opposite pairs again. So in the middle between these, and then over here, and then in the middle on this one, and over here. So no matter how large the die ends up being, you're going to have an equal amount of space in between the loops. So as you can see here, they don't meet up exactly, and that's okay to have a little bit of room in between. But as long as you do this little rule of opposites, you're going to have an equal amount on each side. Oop, I didn't get the edge of that there. Okay, and then we'll go down here and go in the middle. So you can turn the stamp or turn the cardstock. And I'm inking up the stamp each time, but it would also be pretty if you wanted to have every other one be a little bit lighter if you wanted to stamp it off. See how quickly that came together? And then here is my die cut shape, and so that's just going to layer right on top of that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of a shadow, and I don't think that I showed my markers earlier. Apologize for that. So I'm going to use the BG3. This is my favorite for shadowing just because it matches the real shadows on my card so nicely. So I'm just going to do underneath the scallops as if the light's coming from above. So on each one, I just think it really adds a lot. And then below, okay. All right, now let's go ahead and I'm going to stamp this flower out really quickly. So I'm just going to do it on one of the die cuts so that I have time to show you how to finish off the other card when you have a shape that isn't as simple as this classic oval. So I'm just going to stamp this flower. And I'm missing a part of the image. My cat chewed up this stamp a little bit, unfortunately. I showed that in another video, I think. So I'm going to be able to fill that in just with a marker or a pen. But I'm going to just show you some simple coloring on this with just a few of the markers. So I'm going to use the CG1. And I've shown this flower before. This is Trillium. Just going to make it white because I'm really just trying to show off making that border today. And then we'll go ahead and do a straight border on the bottom like I did on the other card. And then the middle here. And then I'm going to do some tip to tip with the CG4. And I'm just going to place this darker green in the areas where my black lines already are. It's in the middle. And then I'm going to color directly on here just to get it a little deeper. So right under there, all the very shadowy areas are going to get that darkest green. And then you can go back and blend them with the tip if you want. So if you want to make a long border on this, you're going to need a long block and that long piece of twine, which is also in the Twine Time set. So I'm going to go ahead, put that on there. I'm going to do my scallop first just to make sure that I have room at the bottom. I'm going to start in the middle. Okay, so just right there at the edge. And then just stamp them end to end. It's very easy with the clear stamp. And starting in the middle, then I should have a pretty full scallop on either side. And again, I don't like to measure, I just like to eyeball it. Pretty close is close enough for me. And then we're going to go ahead and just stamp the border. And just put it right on there. And then I'll do just a little bit of shadowing with this. So I'm going to go just right underneath. Right underneath that twine. And then under. It looks so real. Just a little bit on the edge. Okay, now let me show you on just a little scrap how you can do this bow. So I'm going to take this double bow here, and I'm going to also stamp this in the green, just keeping it all green today. And I'm going to cut this out, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put just a little bit of a shadow inside these loops. Won't need to do it underneath the bow because you're going to cast a real shadow since it's cut out. So I'm just going to cut this out. Let me get it away from all this extra cardstock because I just find it a little bit easier. I don't have that huge piece coming around. And I created this space in the middle so that you can stamp the buttons in the set or so you can add a real button. So you just need to go in, not exactly, but just enough room so that you're going to have a place to put your foam adhesive or other adhesive to pop that up. And just so that it'll be hidden by your button. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to add a shadow on here just to match. Let me put a little bit on the middle of that petal just to do a white one. And just some on the underside here. Okay, And then under the leaf here, it's a very hurried coloring job today. I don't have as much time, but I'm just really excited about showing you these scalloped edges and seeing what you come up with. I hope you'll post your creations to Stamp TV. Okay, so I'm going to put just some little pop dots on this. And layer this on. And then I'm going to adhere this with a button. Where did my button go? Fell on the floor. Okay, and I think I'm going to use, actually I want to use just a little bit of my adhesive here to pop this up. And there's different places that you could put this. You could actually put this down here. That's where I had it on the original one. Up here, to the side. So wherever you want to put it. Just thought it was nice right there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this button. And a lot of different sizes will work on this too. So I tried to make it so that was really versatile. Okay, so there you have this card. And then let me show you the same principle on this square one. So I have a square one here. And again, I'm going to trace the inside of that die with my pencil. Okay, so just find the middle. And then I'm just going to look at each section that I need to go opposite. So I'll take my scallop. Make sure you have it on the middle of the block so it doesn't rock. And if you want to go a little further out so there's more of a reveal of that scallop, you can go past the edge, but this is just a guideline to try to keep it all even. Okay, so I'm putting them on each section of this kind of curvy square label, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on these sides. Okay, and then I'm going to put one here at the corner and in the middle. But what you could also do, you could have them curve around. So it gives you some different options, different ways you can do these. Curvy. Okay, so this one's a little bit different than the way that I did the first one, because on these I chose to, instead of putting one in the center there, I put one going this way and then this way to fill that in a little bit more, okay? But either way works. So you see, you put that on just like that. But what you can also do is you can double this scallop up to pop out certain details or elements of these curves. So if you want to make it a fancier label, you can really fill this out by adding a double scallop. And this is kind of like that doily building. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting one at each of the corners, and you can make it as ornate as you want. So I just love the different possibilities that this scallop has. It really changes up the look of your dies and of your card. And I just love anything that makes my die cuts look fancier, but without having to do a whole lot of work. So you see, placing that on just like that. Very simple. Just this little scallop. I hope this gives you lots of ideas for how to use that scallop and the border in Twine Time, and how you can use this with all of your different dies. Please visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, for more ideas and inspiration using all of my different stamp sets from Gina K Designs, and visit us on Stamp TV. Thank you for watching today. God bless.